Okay guys, welcome back then. I'm currently in some fields in Herefordshire and I'm walking back to pretty much where I live, actually, to tell you the truth, which is around the town of Cheltenham, that kind of area to the west slightly. And I want to talk today about alcohol because I stopped drinking on the 1st of January this year. I spent 20 years in the military flying fast jets, and people have written to me, lots of pilots all over the world have written to me either about their experiences, or the majority of them are writing to me saying, look Tim, how did you do it? How did you stop drinking alcohol? How did you stop? And I think that's the wrong question to ask personally, like the how did you stop. What I'd rather people were saying is going through, how, what, why, who, where. Like, I think the why did you stop was the most important one. So I want to talk a few things. The main thing really is why I don't go to AA. I don't use AA. I've never been. I know people that have done. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about one of the greatest quotes I ever heard, and how that kind of changed my mind about things really, and kind of really gave me some energy to some purpose to carry on doing what I was trying to do, especially with stopping the drink. And then the other one we'll talk about really is why I don't think alcohol is a disease. I don't like the word addiction, so I really want to challenge that notion, and hopefully in the comments you guys can sort of add to this a little bit. I want this to be a powerful comment section. There's some people hurting a lot out there, and I'm here to tell you that you don't have to. You don't have to hurt. You don't have to suffer in the way that I was suffering for a very long period of time. As I said, I've been off alcohol now for 7 months. I'm never going back. Now, if you tell yourself that you're never going back, you don't have a choice anymore, because now it's your word. It's the man's word. It's your word, or the woman's word, and you don't want to be going back. And so I've said I'm never going back. And what that means now is I have to replace all that time I was spending with alcohol. I have to replace that with something else, and that takes many forms. And I'm not saying I'm the gifted man at doing that right now. The gym is a big thing. My school, where I teach people to fly, and I do a lot of work with people that are going through addiction, especially with alcohol, in my school as well. And I do that outside of the school. So I have other things I'm doing. I'm building up more things, guys. Building up more things that I'm doing, spending my time with. One of the things that alcohol is quite interesting to me, and the reason, as I said, that I didn't do AA. I know people in my family, extended otherwise, that have done AA, is I spent a long time in the evening, probably about 20 X amount of years, 20, maybe almost 30 years, in the evening, caning a lot of alcohol, drinking a lot of beers and everything else. And the last thing I want to do in my mind is to go and sit down and spend time in the evening talking about the fact I spent a long time drinking a lot of alcohol. I want that time back. I'll never get it back. So the least I can do now is use that time for something else. Now, I know a lot of people here would have experience of AA or NA, Narcotics Anonymous, and then in the comments tell me. I've read the book. I've read the 12 steps. I like the style. I think it's written well for people that need that kind of thing. Personally, I don't think I do. And other people in the comments especially would say, but Tim, you're white knuckling this. And what I would say in return to that is I don't believe that to be true. If I felt that was to be true, I would go to AA. I know there's classes around me, that's fine. But I think the only white knuckling I'm doing with stopping alcohol is the white knuckles that I've got wrapped around iron in my gym that I lift to make me stronger. And that's important to me, okay? So I've swapped out a negative for a positive. I've taken alcohol and I've said, I'm not doing that anymore. What can I do instead? Well, let's see whether you can get yourself fit. And it's not easy, because when I stopped drinking, I had a lot of pain in the body, a lot of pain all over the body, really, in different areas. I'm working on that now, and I've got rid of most of it, and that's a great thing. So, exercise helps with that. You're never going to stop drinking, bang, next day turn into some ripped up god. It's a massive, long process. That's really important to remember. The thing about AA, and I have people, as I said, in my family that go to AA, so I can't criticize it because it really works for them. But as I said, it's just, I don't really want to be sat around talking about something that I've done. Does that make sense? I've kind of finished with alcohol. If that makes sense. I did that. I've done that now. Brilliant. Yeah, I had a great time, and I had a really, really bad time as well. That's over now, guys. Next thing. What is the next thing? The next thing really is nailing the nutrition for me, because the nutrition is a difficult one, because I've still got this addictive personality. It's never going to go away. If you've got it, you've got it. My dopamine, obviously I've got channels there that are just the neuro pathways, guys. They're just coming together, and something happens within your brain. It doesn't solve overnight. I hear these people, fair enough, I hear people say, well, I stopped drinking and 2 days later I just felt so much better. I'm like, that's not me. I don't know who you are. My drinking was very different to that, and very different to that. And I say 6 months later, what am I now, 7 months? I don't feel that much different. I probably do feel healthier if I analyze it. I've lost 25 pounds of weight, whatever that is now. I'm lifting heavier in the gym. My diet is better, but I'm still missing, you know, I feel I'm missing something, but I understand that's not alcohol. Alcohol isn't in my body anymore, so I can't be missing alcohol. But the way that your neural pathways are set up with alcohol, they're still probably being redone. You know, I'm still regrowing some of those things, and so I'm gonna obviously feel a little bit like I'm missing, you know, like I'm missing something that's out there, and that probably isn't ever gonna change. So what I can do is put something in place of that, and that's where the gym, that's where nutrition, that's where trying to help other people comes in. Now here's the thing about the quote I talked about, or I should have talked about at the beginning. There was a quote when I was stopping, and you listen to different people. Maybe you're listening to me and you're listening to a washed up former fighter pilot that flew 20 years in the military with a pretty severe alcohol issue. If that's the guy, take that guy. I listen to a lot of people, and one of the guys I listen to is the prophet Wes Watson, the philosopher Wes Watson. You may have heard of Wes Watson, look him up on YouTube. Not for everyone, it's not for everyone. But I enjoy his content. And something he said, and something that resonated with me when I was stopping, was the devil comes down hardest on those who are supposed to shine the brightest. And I just thought to myself, fuck, what if you're supposed to do something and to help someone out somewhere, and all your drinking and all this selfishness, all this time you're spending by yourself in the evening, slamming the beers, watching YouTube videos, doing whatever it is. What if that time could be used for something better? And you'll never know, because all you're going to do is carry on drinking for your entire life. I just thought about that a lot. Like, why is it so hard for me? I mean, you think about it, I flew jets for 20 years, my brain was quite strong, and I've got a good intellect, well, reasonable intellect, probably not that great to be fair. But I flew jets, right? I flew fast jets. Why couldn't I solve this? Why couldn't I get away from alcohol? What the fuck is this thing doing with alcohol? It's crazy, right? So you overthink this shit. I'm not even joking, guys. You overthink it. It's pretty wet out here, to be fair. It's a lovely place. Coming down from a ridgeway, in fact, heading back down to a road. It might get a bit noisier in a minute. As I said, we've got Ledbury out there somewhere. You've got Cheltenham on the far hills. Malvern up here somewhere. People say they want me out in the country, and here I am. So, I'll do a bit of walking down here with a camera, so you get a bit of sight. But look, what is that? So why can't I solve this? And it's because we overthink shit. We try and solve it with the brain, and you can't. I used to think, especially as a jet pilot, that the brain led the body. The brain drove the body, and that makes sense when you think about it, because as a fast jet pilot, what I think goes into my muscles, and it moves my hands or my legs, and it flies the aeroplane. So the mind controls the body. The mind keeps me safe, therefore. The mind tells my body what to do. I'm about to fall down a trap here. No, that's all right. But that was wrong. It's only when I realized it was wrong, and actually I did some deep thinking about the body, about this vessel I'm carrying without getting my freak on here, that's been gifted to me by whatever it is. And I don't know whether it's, you might say it's God or whatever, and I don't know whether you're into that or whether I'm into that. I'm not too sure. Here I am, fucking it up. Who am I to do that? Who am I to, who it's not my responsibility to just, whoever gave me this body to go and drink myself into oblivion. That's not gracious in any kind of way, guys. I mean, if you think this is bollocks, tell me, and we'll re-talk about it. And I know AA's helped a lot of people. Seriously, I've got very close people in my family who go there, and wherever they're over the world, they go and they sit there, and they sit as a family, and that's brilliant, but it's just not for me. But I kind of started rationalizing, I'm thinking, this isn't enough. I can't outthink this shit. I can't outthink it. And that's when I started movement. So when I started hitting the floor, I started getting burpees on, started building a gym in my garage. Started looking at, literally, as I said, moving the body, getting rid of the toxins. And then the 1st of January this year, I decided to stop drinking. Now, a lot of my pilot mates will be interested in this. They'll be like, Tim, I thought the mind, I thought that controlled us. I'm like, hey, hear a brother out. It's not. It's the body that controls the mind. The body drives the mind. The mind will respond to the actions of the body. Now, you think about this. I don't really believe in depression. Don't hit a brother for that, okay? I understand it. All I'm saying is, when I'm in a very low frequency state, as Wes Watson, the philosopher, would say, you can change that, but you've got to do something physical. This sedentary lifestyle we've got ourselves into, guys, is bollocks. I'm the worst for it as well, because I do a lot of work on computers, so I sit there and do a lot of work on computers. But look, I'm out here walking now, but you've got to have something where you can go and do something, whether it's a gym, whether it's your own gym, whether it's skipping ropes are really cool. Skipping ropes, learn to skip, anything like that. A few weights, bands are great, and move that body. I'm not even joking, move the body. The body's important. So why don't I think that alcohol is a disease then? Well, I didn't catch alcohol. I believe addiction is a choice. And when you realize this, here's the thing. When you realize that I'm correct in what I'm saying here, that addiction is a choice, it empowers you to be able to do something about it. Because I fucking own that shit now. That's mine now. So, it was my choice to drink, was it? It was my choice to smoke. I smoked for almost 30 years. Yeah, it was your choice, Tim. No one told you to do it. It's getting a bit loud with the road here, guys. Sorry about that. No one told you to do it, Tim. You decided to do that shit. And that means you can undecide to do that shit. Or decide to undo that shit. But either way, that's your choice. You decided to start drinking. You can decide to stop drinking. And that's the sort of thing I would say have a think about, especially if you're flying airplanes, guys. The rest of my life is going to be without alcohol. I'm looking forward to that. That is great for me, and it just solves so many problems. I used to get this thing when I was going away on like holiday and stuff like that. Like, is there a bar there? And also, if there's a bar, I remember being really unhappy in Germany. Like, I was in Germany in this beautiful town, I think it was Nuremberg, beautiful hotel, and they served half pints. And now I look like a dick because I'm ordering 2 or 3 half pints at a time, right? That's not normal, guys. Because I'm an Englishman, right? I want pints. I don't want half pints. You know what I mean? I want pints. I'm not a girl. Pints. They wouldn't do pints, they did half pints, and that just kind of ruined the weekend for me. Because the sanctuary is your hotel. When you get back to the hotel bar, you want a pint of beer and half pints. That shit's not normal. It affects your relationship with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend. People that drink understand that. There's an anxiety about going away. Can you get enough alcohol? There's an anxiety about me being in the house here at night. I used to have at least 16 big tins of lager in the fridge. If I didn't have at least 16 tins, I might run out. Now I can't drive to get any more anywhere. I'd always have a couple of bottles of wine, you know what I mean? Because you never know, right? I'm not really touching that stuff, but take the edge off. And that's the problem. I don't have that anymore. Yeah, I have other things that cause me anxiety, cause me a few worries, but I don't have alcohol. And here's the other thing. No matter how bad your day is, how much of a failure you feel during the day, and a lot of us do feel like failures during the day because we see everything going on the internet, we think it's real, and it's not. You know, these people making 6 figures, oh, come on, dude, what are you talking about? You started your business last week. All that shit's bollocks. But the truth is, at least I'm not drinking today. I'm not drinking tomorrow. I'm not drinking for fucking ever, guys. It doesn't matter. These people go, well, not today, just not today. Just not for fucking ever, mate. Just grip it, this not today shit. Just not today. What are we talking about not today? That's white knuckling, that shit, that is. If you make a decision that you're never going to drink again, that's it. You're never going to drink again. Doesn't matter what you do now. You're never going to drink again. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's the tough stance there, is embracing it, moving forward with it, and just, it's almost like suffering with it. It's like, yeah, I get it. I don't feel like I'm suffering, but I am kind of. It's like I'm embracing something that is exceptionally difficult, and I'm working every day to make it better, and I'm winning this shit, and it's great. And if that helps you to understand that there is a place outside of it, you don't have to do it. You don't have to go and drink all the time. It's a choice. You can stop. You know, and I know what's going to happen because I get it all the time. I'm going to get emails written to me and they're going to be essays, and I'm not going to be able to respond to all of you. I understand that. That's what the comment section is for. I think our brains are wired slightly differently, and we just invest ourselves in things like alcohol. And the other thing is you'll probably go off into something else as well, such as sugar is a big thing, anything like that. I hit that recently. I'm trying to do some work on that, sort the diet out. That's the next massive one I'm doing. Really nailing it, like nailing that diet. And that's all I've really got for you guys. I've got to get back now. I've got to cross this road here. We're having a party tonight in the school. Whoop, whoop. For the guys, I've got to set that up. I just thought I'd throw this out on a Friday. But remember that quote there that I just talked about. The devil comes down hardest on those who are supposed to shine the brightest. And just think about your life. I'm not lecturing or doing anything here. It resonated with me. It might resonate with you. What if you are supposed to be doing more than you're doing right now? And yet the selfishness that you have is keeping you drinking, like it was with me. And I wasn't able to pay enough attention to my wife or to my business or to the family or to all the other stuff I do in my life, because I've decided that every evening I'm going to go up and I'm going to drink my beers or my alcohol, and everyone else can just go and do their own thing. I'm not going to be part of the lies because I'm prioritizing me. Hey, I hope that helps, guys. Let me know in the comments anyway. I'm interested on all these things. You know, how are you getting on? Are you planning something or not? Tim Davies, Fast Hit Performance.